Good morning. So I really enjoyed this fall Kendra series on stories and sharing stories, and I really feel that that's so important because we are informed and made, and we go on, and our stories are what we share with our kids, and it's what makes us us, and what makes the awesome people that came before us them, and so I've really enjoyed that. And so I was flattered when Kendra asked me to share a joyful story. And so I was just telling Sherry about our dog Scooter, and I said that Scooter is relentlessly optimistic, and he's always up, he's ready to go. And I'm that way, much to the exhaustion of my poor wife. I mean, she always, I come in the house and go, "You would not believe the person I just met at Menards, oh my God." And she goes, "Oh God, TJ, okay." So, but this particular moment of joy story is rooted in that most joyful of things, Frank Sinatra. So my mom was a huge Frank Sinatra fan, huge. And as a kid, in the car, it'd be a battle back and forth with the 8-track players. Dan said the 8-track was a vehicle with which we used to listen to music. So it'd be a battle back and forth between what my dad liked to listen to, old, Hank Williams or, country music, or Frank Sinatra. Live at the Sands would go in, and so it would go back and forth. And I have come to love both of them so much. And so my dad died in 1992, in the fall of 92. And so in January of 93, my brother and I and two very close friends, took my mom to Las Vegas to go see Frank at the old Desert Inn. Now, she had seen Frank and had gone to Vegas in the 60s with my dad, but it was the first time we'd ever gone. And so we had an absolutely incredible weekend cruising around Las Vegas with my mom as she's sharing stuff that she had done in Vegas years prior, and different, this and that, and oh my God, we got to go to Liberace's house, Dave, you got to see it, we got to go, oh my God. That's where we saw Howard Hughes drive by in his car. Well, I think it was him in his car. That's what they said. But we just had such a great weekend, and I remember it so fondly. So one of the things that we did as we're cruising around, and this is before Las Vegas has all been remade. We went to the Copa Room at the old Sands where the Rat Pack would play, and so my mom is going, "Okay, now." But the only person she liked more than Frank was Sammy Davis Jr., and she'd go, "This is where Sammy stood right here when he did his impressions." And she's just like crying, and she's so happy. Right? So anyways, it was a lot of fun. So on the Friday night, we saw Keely Smith and Sam Butera, right? Louis Prima, Keely Smith, which was this huge bonus, and which was a lot of fun because loved them, and my mom couldn't believe it. So, and that was at the lounge at the Desert Inn. We had no idea. And then so the next night was Frank. And so I was ready for this moment. We're all dressed up and the whole thing. And I had a crispy $100 bill. They're all crispy in Las Vegas, or many of them. And I walk up to the, guy's kind of looks like Dracula, he's like all slick back. I don't know, Mater D, whatever, the guy at the little stand at the door. And I walked up and I said, "Good evening. We're bringing our mother to see Frank." And I gave him this $100 bill. And he doesn't even look at it. He goes, "You're a good boy." And so we walk in, and the stage is there, and he gave us our own table. Not the table shared with everybody, but stage right, a semicircle table right there, our own table. So, we're having a lot of fun, and so it's, my mom in the middle and the two of us on each side, and so we're sitting there, and then the Tom Dreesen, Frank Sinatra's longtime comic, is, he does his sort of like, funny, jokes about, "But Tom Jones, I got to tell you," Vegas, hilarious Vegas year. And so he no more than finishes. Boom, the curtain closes, and he no more than finishes, and people are just barely starting to chatter. And all of a sudden, I heard, and I knew, because I'm this kind of loser that I am, I hear Frank Jr.'s voice say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Francis Albert Sinatra." The curtain opens up. And I mean, from me to Seth, and I don't know if any of you ever had the opportunity to see Frank Sinatra, but I mean, his eyes were so blue. They were like these lasers, and he is standing, like we're sitting there, and he's standing right there. And I see these eyes, and they were so clear, and he was old, and he was, getting towards the end. And he opens his mouth and he goes, I've got the world on a string. And I just went, oh my God. And it was so incredible, and he was fabulous, and he was just great, and he's exactly what you wanted. And in the waves of this show, looking over and seeing my mom so joyful and happy as she's got, my brother and me on either side of her, and then John and Coit on, and of course we're all, oh, these are my boys, these are my boys, these are all my boys, these are my boys. And so we had such a great time. After the show, we stayed up until late, just sharing stories, and my mom was so much fun, and she's telling us about seeing Johnny Carson and this and that, and it was so much fun. And she's also saying, she had several of her, she'd say, I'll have another captain and diet in a boat. That was her drink. So a while later, in the mail, we all received cards from my mom, and I opened it up, and I didn't know that we'd all received them, and she had business cards made that had her name, Ona LaChapelle, the mom who does Vegas. And there were like 10 of them in there, like we were going to hand them out, which of course I did because everybody loved my mom. So, Mom passed away in 1999, and I, of course, would give anything for 10 minutes with her and with the kids, because she really was just an incredibly awesome, joyful, funny, fun person. A few weeks ago, out of the blue, my friend John texted me, bleep, I look at my phone, and there's a photo of the card that says, Ona LaChapelle, the mom that does Vegas. And it just, and he sent me this really sweet text about how much he missed my mom, and that whenever he listens to Frank, he thinks about her, which is, to me, what joy is all about, in the carrying on of the stories. So when I listen to Frank and I think about her, it fills me with just huge, huge joy all the time. And so don't worry, Lila Max, we will listen to more Frank Sinatra probably today. And just wait, you will like it, trust me.